touching your skin. The love is right. Let them have their time. And I have this notion. Let's keep these wheels in motion. In motion. And it's worse you for that I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I think it's absurd.
Good evening, race fans. Urban Pirate here, Black Flag Racing TV, and we are here for, what are we here for? We're here for the Academy race for the WSR Porsche Cup. This is not in the 911 RSR that we just saw in Split C. This is in the god-awful GR4 Porsche Cayman. Yeah, less said about this car the better. It's not the greatest of GR4 cars available on this game, and certainly no patch on the 911. Slightly different format, 10-minute qualifying as you'd expect, which we're not going to see. We've already done the qualifying. This is from a replay, of course. 16-lap feature race followed by an 8-lap sprint, which is a reverse top 10 from the feature. I have it on pretty good authority. This is a couple of doozies of races here. Not very clean though, from what I've been told. But we'll crack on and we'll see how we're getting on. Quick rundown from last week. This is how it looked after last week's results. So sprint race was won by Ridge Raider, Pete Snow, Mini Dan. They were your top three. All the way down you can see there Chip Reese in 8th, and then we had Rick James, E-Tunes, Arco, Tristan Metcalf and Jay at the back of the pack. There was a DNF in after a disconnection in that sprint race, unfortunately. The initial feature race was won by Mini Dan, Arco and Pete Snow rounding out the top three. Chip Reese with a good performance to get in 4th, Rick James in 5th, Jay from Black Flag in 6th, Ridge Raider 7th, Stumpfer Straub in 8th, 9th was Lucky Alpha, Sturdad in 10th, 11th was Lucky 7, E-Tunes in 12th and 13th was Tristan Metcalf. And this is how it left the standings, with Mini Dan leading the way, Pete Snow in 2nd and Arco rounding out that top 3. With some work to do still for Jay Farley, Salas, E-Tunes and Tristan Metcalf in 13th. So without further ado, let's crack on. This screen looks a little bit weird, obviously, because we haven't got the usual thingy bob. Let's remove that and let's get cracking. So this is the feature race. The grid is as follows: Arco from R. James, Ridge Raider, Mini Dan, Stumpfer Strauber, Old Man Jay on row 3. Row 4 is Chip Reese on his VR, Hoyle joining him on row 4, Jesse Salas and Sturdad on row 5. Row 6 is E-Tunes and Tristan Metcalf at the back of the pack. Nathan Hoyle there in 8th. That's forgotten his bloody name. I've forgotten his name. It's really frustrating. It's Nathan Hoyle. It's ECH Nathan Hoyle. Don't know why I'm even bothering to concern myself with it. All in the same cars. No team liveries here. They're all forced to use the team hard colours for this race. But we'll start with Old Man J here from the start. So here we go. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5 lights. They go out. And what happens when they go out? We start racing, I hear you say. A couple of cars getting bogged down on the line there. Bit of a penalty for Old Man J, a little bit late starting, heading down to turn 1. Now, we saw how sensible they were in the split C into turn 1. How sensible are these guys going to be? You've got to brake a little bit earlier, just be a little bit careful. Jesse Salas with a little tap on the back of Old Man J, but they're clean through. It looks like most of the cars have made it. A little bit of a wobble from Chip Reese there. E-Tunes a bit slow, coming 13 runners starting. There is R. James out in the lead from Minidan. Minidan, of course, the winner last time out. This is the first of 16 laps here at Barcelona. It's a lot harder to pick out what car from what because they're all identical, and from a broadcaster's perspective, it's a nightmare. Yes, the names are above their heads, but it's still difficult at a distance to pick out who is what too quickly. But we work with what we have available to us. So 2 sets of tyres available for mediums and softs. They have to use both compounds. We know the softs can last easily half distance, so it's really down to how well they decide to manage it. Oh, James, very, very wide. Almost a very unsafe return there, but tanking down the order as Arco takes the lead of this race. I don't have the replay available to me off a replay thingy, so obviously we just have to go with what we got. Arco leads from Stumperstrauma in 2nd, Minidan in 3rd. I've got no splits either, which is a fucking pain. R. James is in 4th position, round the outside of Minidan, having a go to try and get back up into that top 3. Jesse Salas in 5th. Old Man J is holding on in 6th position. In terms of tyres, Arco's on the softs, as is Stumpferstraber, and Minidan's on the mediums. R. James also on the mediums. Does explain why Arco and Stumpfer are disappearing off up the road, of course. Jesse Salas also on those soft compound tyres. He's closing on the back of R. James. Old Man J starting on the mediums. I think that from what we saw in Split C, the starting on the mediums was the optimum strategy. Those that started on the softs in Split C really lost out in the second half of the feature race. T. Metcalf from Canada, he's running currently in 7th. He's got Chip Reese making that move. Chip Reese running on VR, of course, is making that move on him. Can he make that stick? He can't. He has to settle for 8th. He's having another go here up the inside under braking. Chip Reese makes the move, moves up into 7th, dropping Metcalf down into 8th. Sturdad running in 9th position. He's ahead of Ridge Raider, who's ahead of Nathan Hoyle, running in 11th, with E-Tunes at the back of the pack in 12th place. We thought there was going to be 13 runners. Turns out there is not. There's just the 12. And I think we have a disconnection at some stage as well, because I think there was only 11 in the sprint race. Lap 2 ensues. Arco leads from Stumpferstrauber. Jesse Salas running in 3rd. The top 3 all on soft compound tyres, which would explain their exceptional pace, to be fair, in comparison. Jesse going very, very wide there. That's going to allow R. James to get the run on him, and he does make that move on those medium tyres. But immediately off the track he goes. That was awful. And somebody reset to track there. Naughty, naughty. That is not allowed. Arco, you think you're not going to get caught? But he literally just did. Arco leads the way now from Stumpferstrauber as we go into lap 3. Jesse Salas. It does amaze me. I mean, even like if real life sportsmen were. I'm going to digress quickly, but the real life sportsmen now love to do these little cheaty things and think that they can possibly get away with it when they've got cameras on them everywhere. I mean, literally, why would you bother? Well, it is what it is. The world is as it is, and people always try and steal an edge if they can get away with it. Mini Dan now, the highest of those medium tyre runners, with Old Man J running in 5th, just behind him. Doing a quite good job there, actually. in 5th. Chip Reese with a half-second penalty just behind him as they're making some moves. A little bit wide. Does that allow Chip Reese up the inside? No, it doesn't. Chip Reese on the soft compound tyres. Now, those on the softs are good. The only way to make this strategy work for you on the softs is to absolutely, you've got to build a massive lead. Because once you go in on the softs, you're going to be on medium compound tyres. Bear in mind, you can do half and half. Half on the mediums, half on the softs. So you don't have to worry. It's not like you've got to try and make the softs last a little bit longer and all that kind of thing. Or, you know, essentially 50-50. You're splitting this race straight down the middle. 8 laps on the softs, 8 laps on the mediums. That's the optimum way to do it. Maybe 9 laps on the softs if you're super brave. But and who's that going very, very wide? You can't park that there, son. That's Ridge Raider on a different part of the racetrack.
You can't park that there, mate.
He's back in 12th position now. Lost so much time. Very clear rule, they're not allowed to use traction control at all. I gave my thoughts on traction control during Split C. I understand restricting use of things like ABS and stuff like that and camera steering control. I kind of get that. But to allow a racing line to stay, and I would say taking the racing line off is more of a thing. But to leave racing line on but allow them to not use ABS, or not use TCS. I don't know, to me it seems a little bit, particularly as these are academy drivers, so we're not talking about top-end drivers here. We are talking about the kind of bottom-end drivers. And those guys do have some work to do. And I genuinely think that if they're learning, then TCS should be allowed. But we'll have a look and see if anyone's... I don't think anyone's using it, to be fair, because the rules are very straight. It's going to be a full disqualification for use of it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't make the rules. The rules are made by the people who run the competition. That's how they want to run it. And that's fair enough. Although I'm not sure I agree that at this level, it should be a hard and fast ban. I think, you know, if you talk about the pro groups, yeah, or by all means, they're not using TCS anyway. But there we go. So Arco leads the way. I can't tell you by how much, but he does lead the way. 49.9. To put this into perspective, they're about 10. These cars are about 10 seconds a lap slower than the 911s were in the Split C. He is ahead of Stumpfer Strauber, running in 2nd. There is Jesse running behind him in 3rd position. Minidan running in 4th. He is running TCS. So there's one running TCS for a start. Yeah, let's have a run through and see who's running it. So we know that Minidan is running TCS. Was he running it in the last race? Well, I'm going to have a look back through my stream and see. So Minidan definitely using TCS. Old Man Jay, we know he isn't, and we've had that conversation with him already. He's running in 5th. Chip Reese is behind on the VR. He's not running the TCS. R. James running in 7th. He's not using it. T. Metcalf is in 8th position. He's not in 8th position, should I say. Sturdad running in 9th. He's not running it either. As we head down, what's his lap 5 of 16. Nathan Hoyle, we know he won't. He's part of Team Hard. He's part of the whole setup. He's running in 10th at the moment, inside that top 10. Of course, being in 10th place is a great position to be in, because in the next race, you get to start on pole position, if of course that's where you end up. We saw in that last race someone nicking it right at the death to nick that position. There is E-Tunes running in 11th position, just ahead of Ridge Raider, who we saw disappearing off of the racetrack at quite a rate a few laps back. But there's your 12 runners, and I can't tell you how far apart they are. We don't have that information available from the replay. It used to be that running from replay was actually better than running from live, but there we go. Yeah. So in answer to your question, Jay, one driver is using TCS. That's Minidan. You can see it there. You can see the TCS active at that point. So Arco still leads from Stumpfer Strauber, and to be fair, this feature race doesn't seem too bad driving standards wise. There's been a few people disappearing off the racetrack. what happened to old man Jay? Now, he's dropped way back down the order. I don't know what happened there when he had a little off. There's damage on the front there. So it looks like he's gone sliding off somewhere and had a little clobber, and that's caused some damage on that car. Running now down in 10th position behind Nathan Hoyle, ahead of Ridge Raider. But your front three, oh mate, I want my keyboard controls back, I miss them already. Arco in the lead. Fastest lap for him is a 49.1. We've already seen the drivers do move up. We saw that from the from Split C. Drivers moving up to Split B. Do we see any move out of the academy into the 911s? Who knows? You decide. Stumpfer Strauber, 40. He's gone sub 150 himself, but these two absolutely dominating out front at the moment. Stumpfer Strauber and Arco. Jesse Salas, best of the rest. He's running in third. Soft tyre runners, of course, will have a couple more laps before they're going to have to swap out. And we should see, what we're going to see, if I'm right, is that these guys, Arco, Stumpfer Strauber, Jesse, those guys running on the soft tyres at this stage, Chip Reese as well. At the moment, they're putting challenge onto these guys that run a mini Dan. Well, let's say about that. He's in a wonderful position to win this race, and it all counts for nothing because he's running TCS. My feelings on TCS aside, he's running it, and that gives him an unfair advantage over every other driver. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go back over my broadcast. Well, I won't be able to because it'll be covered. Well, I can't check last time because it's usually covered. So you guys can't see. I'm going to take this off so it can be seen actually, because it would be unfair otherwise. That's so there we go. You can see there clearly Mini Dan's running at the TCS, and we'll see as he puts the power on. Well, no, look, everyone else is blanked out. So there we go. But we'll put the overlay back on. That's how people have got away with it, is because the overlay covers it and no one else can see it on the broadcast. So less said about that, the better. At this stage, it's not my place to punish him. But if we're going to be very strict on enforcing it, then we have to enforce it. R. James is running in 6th place. He is, to all intents and purposes, the one that's going to benefit quite greatly, along with Mini Dan, of course, is going to benefit quite greatly when they switch to the soft compound tyre. It will put them in a very, very good position because they're going to be quicker than the cars around them. Now, bear in mind, right, okay, so R. James is currently on the medium compound tyres and he's doing mid to low 150s. If we look at Arco and Stumpfer, they're doing they're doing mid to low 49s for Arco. Stumpfer is doing high 49s to mid 50s, and they're on soft compound tyres. Jesse Salas as well on soft compound tyres, and he's doing quite similar times to R. James back in 6th. So he's going to be in quite a good position, that American driver, when he does switch to the soft compound tyre, because he's going to gain. The gain on in the 911 is about a second a lap. If he gains that here, that puts him into the low 49s, which is the sort of pace that Arco is currently doing. Arco's going to drop off that pace. Now, I don't know how far back he is from Arco. I would imagine it's somewhere like 15 seconds, maybe. There or thereabouts, if we consider what, it's 1 minute 50 a lap. Arco's just crossed the line. Yeah, I would say it's about 15 seconds between R. James and Arco at the moment. So he'll come round, he'll complete lap 7 of 16. Good evening, Plastic Roller. Excuse me, interesting name. Right, full rundown time. I can't tell you how far apart they are. But you can see as we start lap 8, just how ropey those soft tyres are starting to look. So Arco, nice big gap out front on those soft compound tyres from Stumpfer Strauber. Let's so you can see what tyres everyone got. Nice big gap over Stumpfer Strauber. Jesse Salas running in 3rd position. He's also on the soft compound tyres. All 3 of those are going to need to pit at the end of this lap for the medium compounds. Mini Dan running on the mediums at the moment. Good condition, those tyres. But as we know, you can do 8 laps on the softs. They're a second a lap quicker. It makes no sense to stay on those mediums any longer than you have to. So I would imagine we'll see it. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see every car in at the end of this lap. Because no one's really putting in a super shift on the medium compound tyres. Chip Reese on the softs. He's running on VR. Doing a really good job actually on VR, running in 5th place. Consistency. I mean, if you look at Chip Reese, he's very consistent. Sort of 50. Well, I say consistent for this end of driver. Let's say. R. James running. That is consistency, to be fair. Other than lap 2, which wasn't a great lap for him, it's been 51.3 down to sort of 50.3. So only 1 second difference in his laps over the last 6. He's on those medium tyres as well. Metcalf from Canada. He is just about 51.9 his fastest lap, down to sort of the low 53s on those mediums. So some time certainly to find for him. Nathan Hoyle moving up to 8th place. Can he make the move on Metcalf? So they're all coming round. Those medium tyre runners choosing to stay out, oddly. And so are the soft tyre runners. I don't quite understand why. I can understand you wanted to do an extra lap on the soft because they're quicker tyres. But I can't understand why, if you can do 8 laps on the softs, why you would do more on the mediums. To me, it just seems counterproductive to be taking longer to get around the racetrack than you need to. Don't know, and in all honesty, I don't care. Stunferstrauber, there's those 2 German drivers running out in front at the minute, Arco and Stunferstrauber. Jesse Salas under significant pressure from Chip Reese. They're all 4 at the front now on the racing soft tyres. Mini Dan holding on those racing mediums, but will have a significant penalty coming his way at the end of this race anyway. So his position is a moot point. Let's be brutally honest about that. If of course the rules are enforced as we expect them to be. R. James running in 6th. He's going to be the one to watch now. He's just done a 50.3 on the medium compound tyres. I wouldn't be surprised if he was there or thereabouts in that top 3 at the end of this race on the softs. Those medium tyre runners really need to get in and change out to the softs now, because that's the only way they're going to get a benefit from them. But Mini Dan and R. James really putting pressure on the back of Chip Reese, where those soft tyres are going off, really struggling, and they're choosing to stay out. I tell you this for nothing. If they don't make it in the top 3, it's purely a strategic error that's caused that. That's what it is. If it's staying out, I mean, Chip Reese is out on those soft compound tyres. He's making them last. Now, that is not necessarily a strategic error, although his last lap was a 53.5. So the tyre's clearly gone off. Probably shouldn't be staying out. Probably should be changing. R. James should have come in for me, because his last lap was a 53.2. So he's losing time now, stuck behind these soft tyre runners. He should be on those softs and getting as many laps as he can out of that additional pace, because he's got crazy pace on the mediums. If he's a second faster on the softs, he can win this race, but he needs to be in the pits to do it. Arco back out. We'll see what pace he's got. How much time is he going to lose on those mediums, because he's the biggest threat to anyone else winning. 49.1's his fastest lap on the soft compound tyre. Moving on to the medium, how much time is he going to lose? Is it a second? Is it more than a second a lap? Because if it is, then that's even more important that R. James gets in the pits and changes them out. Stunferstrauber, he's back out now. He's on those medium tyres. Mini Dan switched to the softs. How much more does his pace improve? Jesse Salas, he's running in 6th position. Behind Mini Dan, with Nathan Hoyle running in 7th. It's only Chip Reese and R. James out in front that haven't pit. Metcalf running in 8th place. Sturdad in 9th. Old Man Jay steady in 10th at the moment. Inconsistently had a really bad lap 5. Lost nearly 15 seconds. Other than that, they've been very consistent on those medium compounds, and with the sort of low 50, mid 52s, high 51s. Bit of a problem ahead from Metcalf. He goes, not to Metcalf, Sturdad off the track. That allows Old Man Jay to go through. Does Ridge Raider get to make a move on him too? It looks like Sturdad got up to speed before Ridge Raider could get the run on him. He's blocking him off quite well. Although Ridge Raider, with a good run there, he moves up into 10th. So Arco regains the lead of this race. Chip Reese is in. He's got a penalty. Stunferstrauber also through. For me, I think R. James came in 2 laps too late. He's giving himself an uphill task now to chase down a win. If R. James goes in at the halfway mark on those medium compound tyres, he's winning this race because he's got the faster tyre underneath him. But at the moment, he's stuck behind Chip Reese, who's on medium tyres. He might have to stay behind him until that penalty serves. He's got Jesse Salas with a good run on him. Bear in mind, Jesse Salas is on the medium tyres, so hopefully he can pull away from him. But if Jesse Salas manages to make a move on him while his tyres get up to speed, it's going to be devastating for R. James. He's got to try and make that move on Chip Reese, and Jesse Salas having a little sneaky look at James, but no doings there. So we've got 3 American drivers: Chip Reese, R. James, Jesse Salas. Chip Reese with a penalty. He will be out of the way shortly. But meanwhile, the top 3 just pulling away. Arco, Stumpfer and Minidan all pulling away. And I think any hope of a top 3, or to be fair, he's going to get a top 3 when Minidan gets his disqualification for running TCS illegally. But he could have won this race. Quite simply, his pace as Jesse, massive tank slapper, and any charge he had on the back there is gone. Chip Reese now drops in behind R. James, but the gap is just there's not enough laps left for me for him to chase him down. I want to see what his lap times are. Arco is doing 150s, so actually his pace on fresh mediums is pretty similar to that on worn softs. It's less than a second. Stumpfer Strauber, very similar. His fastest lap was a 49.6. He did a 51.0. So not quite as quick on those mediums. So Arco actually got those mediums working. So I might stand corrected that R. James definitely would have had a first place because Arco's looking pretty quick. But he certainly would have definitely had second, I think, based on that pace. What's he managed to do? Now, bear in mind, he was stuck behind Chip Reese for a lot of that first lap, so that won't count anyway. But we'll see what he manages to churn out this time. If he's anywhere near the 49s, then he certainly should have pit earlier. So it's Arco leads from Stumpfer Strauber from the soon-to-be disqualified Minidan. R. James and then Chip Reese running in 5th place. Jesse Salas running in 6th. Tristan Metcalf in 7th position in I was going to say in the Cayman. They're all in the freaking Cayman. From Canada, he's ahead of Old Man Jay, who's up into 8th now, ahead of Old Man Oil. It's not even his name. And he's ahead of Old Man Ridge Raider, running in 10th, who's ahead of Old Man Sturdad, who's got half a second penalty. Does that put him into anywhere near into the clutches of E-Tunes? Probably not. E-Tunes is a little bit too far back, can't tell you how far back, but he's lapping on the medium tyres at the minute in the 55.9s. Arco out in front, 150.0, his quickest lap on the mediums. He has just done a 50.8. So compared to his 49.1, it's almost 2 seconds difference. Stumpfer Strauber is running in 2nd. Minidan currently running in 3rd. He's on the softs. He's doing 50.3s on those soft tyres. R. James, he crosses the line. That's a 49.8. I'm telling you now. How you doing, Chip? How the bloody hell are you? Yeah, I think R. James pit 2 laps too late, and it's cost him maybe a top 3, but certainly, if he does make it to the top 3, it certainly, without question, cost him a place in the top 2, because the pace on Arco is probably a little bit too hot for R. James, bearing in mind what he's doing on the mediums. But Stumpfer Strauber was infinitely catchable if he pits at the right time, so he got his strategy a little bit wrong. Chip Reese running well though in 5th place. Yeah, he's held it. His lap times actually on those mediums is not too shabby. He's losing about 2 seconds a lap, doing 52.2 was his last one. Fastest lap on the softs with a 50.1. If he can maintain that pace, I'm sure he'll stay ahead of Jesse Salas, who's also on those medium compound tyres. It's very hard to do the chase down on the mediums in this race. It actually shows, to be fair, Arco and Stumpfer started on the soft compound tyres. And actually, it's a big difference from what we saw in the 911s. In the 911s, those that started on the soft compound tyres were infinitely worse off and lost out in the second half of the race. It seems here that Arco and Stunfer didn't. But for me, it's more down to people staying too long on the medium tyres. Those medium tyres easily could have been done away with at the halfway point, because we've seen the soft tyres go beyond the halfway point of 8 laps. So they could have run a good solid 8 laps on those tyres. There he goes, across the line. Is that another 49? That's a 50.4. He's closing on Mini Dan, but we know he's going to get top 3 anyway because of the potential. Well, it's not potential. Are you saying you might get top 4? Well, I'm telling you now, if you finish 5th, you will get top 4 because Mini Dan is running traction control. So he'll get disqualified. Right, so let's run for the back. E-Tunes running in 12th position. He is some way back from Sturdad. Sturdad just coming up to complete or start lap 14. E-Tunes just starting sector 3. Ridge Raider and Metcalf having a little battle going on here. Ridge Raider in 10th, Metcalf just ahead of him in 9th place. Battle's not over between these two, both on the soft compound tyres, both looking pretty racy. Bad lap last lap for Ridge Raider, 53.4. That's allowed Metcalf, to be fair, he's had a pretty bad lap. He's done 54.8. Is he under some pressure now from Ridge Raider? Is Ridge Raider going to make a move here? Did look a bit closer. He does make the move there because Metcalf goes wide and through goes Ridge Raider, and it's a FFR Ridge Raider, so technically it's for Fridge Raider or Fridge Raider. Old Man Jay, he's got that half-second penalty, and with Ridge Raider on a charge, he could be in a little bit of trouble here when he serves that penalty in just a few corners' time. And we can see that slowing down thing coming up. So Ridge Raider knows it's coming. Old Man Jay's going to have to pull off that racing line when he serves that penalty round this corner, and this is where he serves it. How close is a Ridge Raider? Is he close enough to capitalise? Old Man Jay slows up a little bit. Down into the braking zone. Where's Ridge Raider? Is he close enough? Not quite. Into the braking zone they go. Old Man Jay holds on for 8th position, but goes quite wide through there. Does manage to hold on though. What sort of exit does Ridge Raider get out of the final turn? Because that could be key. We know slipstream's not a big factor here because it's on low or mild or whatever it is. Small. It's not on real, which is odd for me. I don't understand why you would be so insistent on having no traction control to make it more real, but then turning off real slipstream. Who knows? Who knows? Ridge Raider makes the move at Old Man Jay. That's a great little run he get down there. Actually got great exit out of that final turn. Into the braking zone he goes, up into 8th position. Old Man Jay a little bit wide. Old Man Jay actually regains that position, but was that track limit issue? He was forced a little bit wide into turn 1, but it looks like he got away with that. Listen, creative with the track limits if you can get away with it. I would be too. Metcalf running in 10th place. Nathan Hall just ahead of Old Man Jay in 7th, with Jesse Salas in 6th. The gap now to Chip Reese in 5th is sizable. Chip Reese, who is currently watching, I'm waving to you right now in your car as you're about to serve your half-second penalty for the world to see. Lap 15 of 16, of course. James, there he is. He has closed the gap on Mini Dan. Can he get top 3 in his own right, on his own merit? Well, he would have done had he got the strategy right. I feel for you, man. I see what you're trying to do. Stay out there longer on the medium tyres. But, yeah, 2 laps earlier on those softs, and you're already in that top 3. Possibly running second right now. Mini Dan just crossed the line for the final lap. His efforts fall naught today, of course, because he forgot to turn his traction control off. It could have been an error because of the update, obviously turned it back on, but yeah. Apparently there's a bug with the traction control that I wasn't aware of, that it turns it on anyway when your car has it turned off. I don't know how it could possibly do that, but anyway. So Arco leads the way by some distance, and to be fair, the pace on the medium tyres hasn't been that different from his pace on the softs. It's about 1.2 seconds slower, but he did enough on the softs to make that gap. So in big contrast to what we saw in the 911s, that starting on the softs here has proven to be not a bad idea. He'll come round a couple here, just finish sector 3. Luckily for eTunes, he's going to cross the line before Arco laps him. So nobody's going to get lapped here, which you don't want to see on a 16, 17, 18 lap race. You don't want to see someone getting lapped within half hour. I know that for a fact because that's me that gets lapped really quickly because I am dog shit. Here comes Arco. They say that those who can do, those who can't teach, those who can't teach. Take the piss out of you mugs all over YouTube. Here comes Arco round the final corner, and he will take the win here. Lap 16 and 16. Here's the win in the feature race. We'll start 10th on the grid for the sprint. Stumpfer Strollbar. Sounds like something very, very yummy to eat, to be fair. Across the line in second. Mini Dan will be across the line in third. That won't count. He will be busted all the way down. Disqualified. R. James across the line in fourth. Chip Reese will be in fifth. Across the line in fifth, but will be fourth. Jesse Salas, top 6 across the line, but will be busted up to fifth. Nathan Hoyle, he'll come across in 7th, will be busted up to 6th. Old Man Jay busted up to 7th. Ridge Radar couldn't make it stick in the end, back in 9th. Sturdad, it's what you do if you put your father in the swimming pool and then get a big spoon. Sturdad. He's in, he runs out the top 10 or 9th. Metcalf in 11th or 10th. And eTunes will be, when he gets home eventually, in 12th. Will bring up the rear, but there is your winner. Congratulations.
Wow, it's very nice.
Thoroughly deserved. He was very, very quick, to be fair. Probably uncatchable by anybody else today. Really, really solid performance. So, 2 Germans stomping across Spain. We haven't seen that for many years. But this time it's not in any kind of aggression, just in very fast German race cars. Arco from Stumpfer Straub, Mini Dan, R. James, Chip Reese, Jesse Salas, Nathan Hoyle, Old Man Jay, Ridge Radar, Sturdad, Metcalf, and others. That's how that race played out. Shall we just move swiftly on? Let's do that. Let's move swiftly on to collection. Got loads of stuff in my collection. I've forgotten which one I just did. I think it was that one, so I think it's this one. I could be wrong here. We'll find out in a minute. That could be the race I just did. I'm not paying any attention at all. Is this a good guess, or is it a rubbish guess? I've got no way of knowing until I click go. So grid was set from race number 1. Yeah, I think this looks right. 8 laps, here we go. And we're away. Oh, bad start there from Old Man Jay. Gets well bogged down on the line. Just full start. Swallowed up at the start there. And from 3rd on the grid, finds himself way down the order. So Sturdad in the lead. Jesse Salas coming through. Turn 1, I hear, was a little bit of carnage. What happens here into turn 1? It is a crash fest. Try and pick through that one, people. I'm not even going to pick through that. That was an absolute mess. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a yellow flag territory. But yeah, what a mess that was. Let's try and get the correct feedback. And again, more. It's carnage. Absolute. And you know what? This is just basic. I'm gonna be. Do you know what? I don't care which one of these drivers I offend. Right? It's turn fucking 1, lap fucking 1. Why are you driving like a fucking dick? If you want to drive like this, there's plenty of daily races to do it. The reason we do this separately from daily races is we don't want fucking idiots chucking cars up the inside in ridiculous positions into turn 1. It's nuts. It's absolute nuts. So loads of people will go in and repair damage. So the race is basically negated down to 70k, while those that need to repair go in and repair. Just because people are not patient enough into turn 1. Sturdad having a bit of a problem there. And it looks to me like people crashing under a safety car. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously? Genuinely, seriously. Have a fucking word, people, man. Have a word with yourselves. Do you know, it's not often I'm speechless, right? But when I was told how bad it was on turn 1, lap 1, I don't think it really did it that much justice. It was just absolute carnage into turn 1. No, but look, it's too difficult to pick through who. I'm not going to point things at anyone in particular, which is why I'm kind of directing it at everybody. When you go into turn 1 on any racetrack, particularly ones where you've had a fairly decent run down to turn 1 from the start, and if you're all in the same car, and if you're all in varying different abilities, particularly if you're doing a reverse grid, because you're going to have faster people behind who are going to be braking later. Chip, I've already heard how bad this race is, and I genuinely, I don't give a fuck if WSR tell me they don't want me to broadcast again, right? This is fucking bullshit. You people are going into these competitions and racing like this, and you think this is an acceptable way to drive. It's not. It's fucking unacceptable. You're in this academy because you want to move up and race in the higher divisions. But if you can't even make it through turn 1 in a fucking sprint race in the same car, then what the hell are you playing at? I mean, seriously, just go fuck off to the dailies, man. Genuinely fuck off to the dailies, because that's where you belong. You belong in the daily racing lobbies if this is how you approach every corner. Right, anyway, that's my rant over. From what I've heard, this gets worse. So, Jesse Salas currently in the lead of R. James. R. James, who, to be fair, the feature race was pretty damn good, actually, to be fair. The feature race was good. Maybe that's because everyone knew that to pace themselves. R. James got his tactics a little bit wrong in that feature race, and but now up where he belongs among that top 3. Mini Dan again running TCS in this race as well, so we'll ignore where he is on the racetrack because he's going to get that's the little crash into the back there of R. James. That takes him out of the fucking action, and Mini Dan gets all wobbly. You can see the damage on the front of his car after smacking into him. Is this another yellow flag here on lap number 2? You know, the irony is I was in the lobby as this race started. I was going to watch it, and I didn't, and I wish I had, because the shock is just awful. So we've had a couple of crashes already. Jesse Salas out in the lead. We're now negated again, another full course yellow, and we're only on lap 2 of 8. I have a feeling we could be here a while. I would grab some popcorn, people, and put your feet up, because this is going to take some time. Yeah, it's going to take some time. So, as it stands at the moment, under a full course yellow, we've got Jesse Salas leading the way. Oh my days! What the hell? You know, I wasn't going to rewind any of this race, but that was absolutely ridiculous. What happened there? I can't work out what happened. How did they end up? I don't understand what happened there. I think I need to go on board here. What was that? Why did he brake there like that? Metcalf just inexplicably slammed on his brakes in the middle of a straight for no apparent reason, and Old Man Jay just ploughed into the back of him. There was nothing Old Man Jay could have done there. And I'm not defending him because he's one of my drivers, because to be fair, everyone's been driving pretty shit in this. And Jay will tell you, I will fucking pull him. If I think he's been shit, I'll pull him out. But Metcalf just inexplicably slammed on his brakes in the middle of a straight there. I can't work out whatever reason. Anyway, Chip Reese into the pits. R. James into the pits to repair. Who else has got to go in to repair? Pretty much everyone is going to repair something. So, we've made it to lap 3. If this was an F1 race with full damage, I can tell you now, there'd be no one left in this race. It would be the world's shortest broadcast. Jesse Salas in the lead of this race. Genuinely, everybody that's been in this race has to watch these replays back, because it's woeful. Chip, man, I can genuinely say, you know, you know how long I've been broadcasting, right? And how many different races across how many different series I do. You know, and both sides, you know, the United States, Australia, across Europe. So many. Look, again, look, they're under the safety car and they're still banging into each other. Yeah, so you know that I've seen races across the world, many different classes, you know, across not just GT7, but across F1. I do a lot of stuff. I've done stuff on a set of Corsa. I've done stuff, you know, across many different games. I've genuinely never seen anything like this. Genuinely, never seen anything like this. No. I'm going to be brutally honest. If this is what the Academy division has to offer this season, I don't think I want to waste my Sunday nights doing it. And that's nothing to WSR, because I've sung my praises to them. I think they're very well organised. I just think if these drivers are going to be put in an academy and told you've got to get better in order to move up into the big cars with the big leagues, then there should be some form of academy training involved then, some sort of racecraft training to go with it, because yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. Jesus Christ. So you made me call out a fictional character's name. Whew. Right, so Jesse Salas is in the lead. This one was truly Inquire. Was that the word you were looking for, Chip, or was there a different one? Yeah, right. So another full course yellow. We're on lap 4. I haven't been counting, but I think we've had one full racing lap thus far. Everything else has just been, we've essentially just been watching. I just good, because I suppose it's good advertising for Team Hard, because we've essentially been watching lots of pink and green Team Hard Porsche Cayennes follow each other around a track. Sometimes not even able to do that very successfully. So Jesse Salas still inexplicably still managed to stay in the lead. Mini Dan damage all over his car despite well, he's in second, but we know he's not going to finish there. He's going to get DQ'd for. He's not getting a chance to use his traction control this time. He might as well turn it off. He might have got away with it. Stumpfer Strauber currently up into third. Good position. If he can finish up in that top 3 this time, good solid points for the German. Nathan Hoyle in 4th currently. How long can he hang on in there? Sturdad in 5th position. We're not back racing just yet. He's got some damage to repair. E-Tunes, he's doing alright at the minute. Was there? I didn't see that, to be fair. Did many people attend it? That's the question. How many people actually went to it? Thanks, guys. Thanks. To be fair, I know I was warned, right? But I really didn't realise how bad it was going to be. Okay, we are. I think are we racing again? We are racing again. Okay. So here we go. Jesse Salas. Oh no, we're not racing again because it's clearly not going that quick down the straight. Or are they? Yeah, they are. So Jesse Salas leads from Mini Dan. Look how they. I mean, look for a start. Look how they're heading down to turn 1 already after the restart. It's just asking for trouble. Here we go. It's genuine. It's actually quite funny. Do you know what? If anyone's seen, I'm keeping this footage, and I'm going to use. I can do an entire week's worth of Dicks of the Dailies just from this race. I'm going to do it. I'm going to edit. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. I was talking to Ash before I did this. He said it's important that these things are highlighted so they can see. It's the only way they can improve. You're right. I'm going to take every stupid move from this. I'm going to take some time to edit this video. I'm going to take out every stupid move and I'm going to put it in one montage of fuckery. And that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it my montage of fuckery. And I'm going to put it up for all to see. And it's going to be the poster for... so basically, you know when you first sign in and it gives you that driving etiquette thing? It's going to be the video that Gran Turismo use of how don't fucking drive when you drive online. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So Mini Dan leads away for that matters. He's got damage on the front and it's under safety car again. Lap 5. Did we get any... are there any racing laps after this, guys, or are we just... do you know what I need? I need some... do you know what I'm going to do? While we're waiting, I'm going to do something very quickly while it's still running as well. If I'm quick enough. I don't know if I will be quick enough, but I'll try. Right, are we racing again? It looks like we are racing again. So Mini Dan now in the lead of Metcalf. So we're heading down to turn 1 again. Let's see what happens. Now, look at the difference here. They're all in a straight line going down to turn 1. Oh, no, we're not. I know they're not slowed down again. So we're under full safety. We're under full yellows. There's no racing. We're not missing anything. They actually managed a good straight. This is the sort of line you should see into turn 1 when you're racing, not when you're under safety car. Although you can do it on safety car. Well, it's just you shouldn't do it on safety car. That's not where I'm looking. I'm looking in the wrong place. Right, this is the music we should have been playing over the top of it. That is the sprint race theme tune for this particular academy race. So it is lap 6 of lap 8. We've had one whole lap of racing so far and a few corners. And essentially what's happened is every time we've gone racing, every single driver on the racetrack has just gone, their brain has just absolutely collapsed through their ear holes, and then they've just driven like it's, it's literally under a safety car essentially, and they still can't keep it on the road. The mind boggles, man. The mind boggles. Genuinely, right? I'm a rubbish. When I say I'm a rubbish driver, I'm not even joking. I am absolute dog shit. And at full pace, when these guys are racing properly, I don't think I'll beat any of them. Right? Any of them. Right? I'm that rubbish. But even I am not going to cock up this much. Is what it is. Is what it is. Anyway, do we start racing now? Is everyone repaired? Mini Dan's opted not to repair, but I think he knows he gets disqualified anyway. Well, if he didn't before, he does now. So here we go. It is lap 7 of 8 starting now, and we are racing again. Here we go into turn 1. What's going to happen into turn 1 here? Please tell me they get through this time. We're already seeing cars taking incredibly crazy lines through. Do you know, stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen. Who's through safely? Everybody? Yeah, pretty much everyone through safely. They made it through that time. So Mini Dan leads from Metcalf. Arco, winner in race number 1, is up to 3rd. So all the crashing has helped him move his way forward. Phil, you're absolutely right. I started the Dicks of the Dailies because I saw some really dodgy racing in the dailies, and then for a couple of weeks there wasn't that much bad racing for me to make footage with. But genuinely, I could do a couple of weeks worth of Dicks of the Dailies footage with what's happened in this race. Oh my God, there's a car spinning off into it. I can't even be bothered to find out who it was. It's insane. Hot James in 4th place. Stumpfer Strauber is in 5th. Jesse Salas in 6th. Kicking up some dust. There's Sturdad and Chip Reese going at it. Chip Reese makes the move. He's up into 7th. Now here's the irony, right? Chip Reese is using, assuming you are using VR at the moment, mate. So he's using VR, So he's got a limited field of vision compared to everybody else, and he's still not crashing into people. There we go. E-Tunes up to 9th place. Nathan Hoyle's in 10th. Old Man Jay is at the back of the pack. He's got some front end damage. I think it was him that spun off into the wall. I know Jay considerably well, and I know that he would have given up on this about 3 laps ago with just how ridiculous it is. Something needs to be done, my friends. Something needs to be done at this level. Nobody, but the thing is, nobody's going to want to race in it while it's like this, because it's just not. It's not entertaining to watch. It's not that way. I suppose it's entertaining to broadcast from a look at these fucking idiots' perspective, but it's not that entertaining for people to see, and certainly not that entertaining to race in. But Mini Dan is going to. Oh, he's going to take the checkered flag and the fastest lap. But it will mean absolutely nothing, because the winner is going to be a double win from Arco. Metcalf's going to take second. Stumpferstrauber, can he move up into that top 3 and still make it a 1-2-1-2 for him and Arco possibly? It's the game on here. Stumpferstrauber has a look up the inside. I thought it was going to be a push to pass and we're getting a bit excited, but didn't happen. He is up into 3rd, makes the move count. Is Jesse Salas now going to make the move on Mr. Metcalf? Doesn't look like that's happening just yet. 1 second penalty for Jesse Salas. It all counts for nothing. Chip Reese needs to close up now on the back of Jesse Salas to capitalise on that and get himself up there. Yeah. Very true. It is very much like Mario Kart. That is what we're missing. There was a game, was it Burnout? I can't remember what the game was called. It was a game where you'd have cars that used to shoot things at each other. It wasn't Mario Kart. It was a proper racing game, but you used to shoot things at each other. And I think that was on the Xbox. And it's very similar to that at the moment. It's basically Wreckfest, but with real tracks. So Mini Dan comes round the final corner, ready to cross the line and accept his disqualification like a man. Arco essentially is your winner. So Arco takes the win. Stumpferstrauber, that's 2 from 2 for them. 3rd for Metcalf. Chip Reese in 4th. Jesse in 5th. Sturdad crosses the line in 6th. E-Tunes crosses that line in 7th. James, Nathan Hoyle, so close on that line. Nathan Hoyle in 10th. Old Man Jay comes across in 11th. And that was mental. I don't know who it was on the host chat earlier saying that they wanted this to be live so their friends could watch it. Just be thankful that it wasn't, because look, I'm going to be brutally honest. If I was doing that live, I would have given up at lap 5 and stopped the broadcast. The only reason I stuck with it because I knew what to expect, because I was warned, and I sort of came into this with a view of laying down some home truths during that sprint race. I'm going to be brutally honest. The feature race I thought was fine. There was nothing really that untoward. There's a couple of little issues in the feature race. I think overall the feature race was a pretty good race, and pretty fair. You obviously got the one issue with the driver using traction control when it shouldn't, but other than that, the race itself was a pretty fair, pretty decent race going on. But that sprint race was absolute carnage, and every single driver involved in any incident there should be absolutely ashamed of your driving standards. I don't speak for WSR in any way, shape or form. I speak for Black Flag. But I can tell you now that if any drivers in Black Flag went out and drove like that, and Phil, Jay, you're in chat there. I mean, even Chip, who drives with us quite a lot, will tell you that if Black Flag drivers went out and drove like that, we wouldn't be in so many outside competitions. We wouldn't just have it. It's not the expectation we have of the way people behave when you're driving online. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And genuinely, that's the way you want to drive in online races. Then genuinely go and stick to the dailies. There's a race every 20 minutes for you. Every 20 minutes to half hour, there's one ready-made for you with people around your driving standard and around your level, and you can smash each other off to your heart's content. So, yeah, it's not. Listen, it's not my place. I don't run this competition. I just do the broadcast. And I'm acutely aware I've probably offended everybody at WSR with my comments. What do you want me to do? I'm a broadcaster, and I will broadcast what I see. And anyone that knows me, anyone who watches my channel, subscribes to my channel, knows I say exactly what I think. And I really don't give a flying fuck what other people think about what I think. You know, you have two choices. You can listen to me or not listen to me. It doesn't really matter. But that was a fucking shambles. Absolute fucking shambles. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I had a chat with Ash at WSR last time out and thought that it was something that WSR could do. But I actually, looking at that, I think it's down to the drivers involved. I think there are drivers there that haven't got a fucking clue and have no place in this competition. Sort your fucking selves out. On that note, whatever's left of your weekend, do enjoy it, muchly. I've been Empire on a massive rant for the last 8 laps. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with an absolute shambles in the Academy sprint race. The first race was pretty good though. Watch that bit. We're back tomorrow for Gauntlet on Black Flag Racing TV. No WSR next week because it's Chocolate Egg Day, and you know, we ain't racing for 2 weeks anyway. So anyway, haters. It's been emotional, very, very emotional. I'm going to go and have a cry and cuddle a pillow for a little while.